Well, I think the main thing, Tucker, that has really confused people about the discussion over the last weeks is the idea that pressure and obstruction of justice are the same thing, and they're clearly not. Actually, if you look at what former Director Comey's testimony says, the case that there was obstruction of justice is much worse today than it was yesterday, and I actually didn't think there was any case yesterday. But I think what people need to understand is putting pressure on a subordinate is not obstruction of justice. The key element of obstruction of justice is corruption. So if you don't have pressure that is motivated by corruption, there is no obstruction. And the president has as much authority or more to exercise prosecutorial discretion as any of the subordinates he has who are U.S. attorneys or FBI agents across the country. So I think to the extent that these two concepts have been conflated, it's important to separate them. Pressure is not obstruction.
So by discretion, you mean he doesn't have to sit passively by while people who work for him run these investigations? He can attempt to influence them? Well,
he certainly can, but what I mean by discretion is in United States attorneys' offices all across the country every day, prosecutors dismiss cases even though they could be prosecuted for a variety of reasons. They weigh the equities and they decide whether a case ought to be brought or not. If you look at what Trump is alleged to have done here, he went through the calculus that's very much like what a prosecutor does in a normal case. He said, okay, here's what they're accusing this guy of, evidently false statements. But on the positive side of the ledger, you know, he didn't do anything inappropriate with Russia. He's already been laid low. Right. I had to fire him yesterday. He's already been humiliated. Enough is enough. Now, you may not agree with that, but it's not corrupt. And it's the kind of calculus that happens all the time in an exercise of prosecutorial discretion.